No Man's Sky fans continue to eat good almost 10 years in to the development cycle of No Man's Sky. And version 6.0 just landed today, and I'm going to expose all the beef right here for you in the LZ. My fellow travelers, you have gone to Starfield to beg for things that No Man's Sky can steal from it, and you somehow found yourself in the LZ. So good to have you. Today we're going to talk about update 6.0 titled Voyagers, and it brings a whole lot of heat. Of course, I bring the joke about stealing things from Starfield, because if you remember, real quick, how when Starfield launched, that there was a discourse saying that they stole a whole bunch of stuff from No Man's Sky. Kind of a fair criticism or congratulatory thing, however you look at it. I remember I made a video about a year ago going, hey, since Starfield stole a whole bunch of crap from No Man's Sky, here's 3 things that No Man's Sky can steal from Starfield. As of today, 2 of those 3 things have been stolen from Starfield: ship building, ship customization, and now the ability to also walk around in the interior of these new, as of today, the Corvette Starship that you can build from scratch. We'll talk about that today. But of course, fam, look over to the side to take a look at the patch notes and, of course, the description for a link to those patch notes. And before we get going, if you enjoy No Man's Sky content and stuff here in the LZ, love to have you. Click a like, hang out with us, subscribe, and don't forget to love yourself today, my friends. So, let's talk key takeaways with the Voyagers update. Undoubtedly, the marquee aspect of this update would be the Corvette Starship. Really, and essentially, this is effectively, if you have played Starfield, you have a good idea of what this looks like. And it is fantastic. You can build your own larger starship, interior and everything, customize it inside and out. However, there's a couple of unsung aspects to this that we'll talk about here in a couple of moments. But Sean Murray, in a separate video, also highlights a few things that talks about kind of what future might look like. 6.0 kind of defines the idea that this game isn't stopping anytime soon. And this deep dive video also talks heavily about the idea that Hello Games' next game, Light No Fire, that I suspect is going to launch probably in the coming months at this point. It's been in development for about 6 years, if I remember correctly. A lot of the technology and development aspect of Light No Fire is being packed into No Man's Sky too. So I love this idea because we're getting a preview and a look at Light No Fire before we even get Light No Fire. I think that's fantastic. Being able to build your own ship is a fantastic idea. I wish they would not stop with this. I think this is a great foundational thing that really sets No Man's Sky up for a lot of co-op adventure. Something else that Voyagers adds that a lot of people have been asking for nearly a decade is spacewalking. Literally being able to just jump out of your ship and fly around in space. This is here now. It talks a lot about Thunderbird-class habitations and the ability to kind of customize the interior of your ship. There's a lot of artistic aspects to this, right? The Thunderbird class kind of makes the interior of your ship look like crap. Deliberately, right? Padding and ducting and exposed pipework and things like that. Now, when it comes to the construction of this Corvette-class starship, I think it's super funny that Sean Murray is kind of throwing some shade at Todd Howard here a little bit, because the building of the starship in Starfield is super clunky. And, I mean, it's clunky like anything Bethesda, right? Hello Games kind of takes that and says, okay, Todd Howard, this is how you easily and conveniently build a starship in a game to make it not feel like a mess. And so I've had some time to play around with it after the update launched on Steam, and I think it's great. It's deep enough where it feels a little expansive, and it kind of just threw me into the creator and said, figure it out, dude. Here's some requirements. You need some landing gear. You need a hull. You need a cockpit. You need some boosters. That's really it. Anything from there that's extra is really just fine-tuning your ship, increasing some stats, growing storage, things like that. These are just my initial impressions. Of course, the first ship that I made looks largely impractical and not very useful, but still looks pretty awesome. There is an expedition coming. For those of you who are not aware, expeditions are these very temporary, sort of 6-week long kind of FOMO grabs where you and other players are spawned in on one planet and the object is to complete a large set of tasks. It's actually a really engaging thing. That's really cool. You get rewards at the end of it, but you have to complete them to get the rewards by the time the expedition expires. Usually, though, if you are unable to complete this particular expedition, then you'll find yourself being able to go through that expedition again, re-experience it or experience it the first time, usually over the holidays, because Sean Murray and the team like to take a good chunk of time off and not drop a bunch of updates, but give players a good amount of time to, relive aspects of the game while they're out. Something that some folks might have been asking for over the years is console rebinding of keys. And so your controls, if you don't like a particular control set or a particular button, somebody like me, I've been crying for a dedicated photo mode button forever because it's kind of cumbersome. You really want to catch that spicy shot like Ray Reynolds. He's one of the legendary creators on Twitter that grabs these awesome shots. I don't know how this man does it, but he grabs fantastic shots of things that happen in an instant. But I'm incapable of doing that because you have to press like 3 buttons in live time to fire up photo mode, and you probably missed the spice of the shot that you were looking for, like lightning striking or something like that. I hope this does that. I'd like to get a try. One of the key aspects that it talks about for this Corvette ship that you can build is bringing other players on. It says, pile your friends into a Corvette and explore the universe together, taxiing your crew from planet to planet or system to system, offering a stranded friend a little help from the space station, invite them along for the scenic route. I think this is key. And in that same video a year ago where I talked about stealing stuff from Starfield, I said, hey, let's get some co-op missions going. Let's get it to where if you've got people on your ship and they assign as crew, then give them crew duties, right? There's a pilot, there's a gunner, there's a person operating shields and things like that. Throw me into some space battles, baby, and let's scream at each other over voice chat. Somebody's failing in their tasks, and I want to shout at them for doing that. There's ambassador class furnishings as well. There's really a lot of different aesthetics to how you can build your ships. And I think this is really a good differentiator that I hope is more deeply expanded in future updates, like Atlas class furnishings, for example. They talk about hundreds of intricately detailed external modules for building your ship. So they really went out of their way to build a lot of depth into this. I hope they continue to expand on that because, yeah, there is, just on my initial impressions, there is a lot of depth. It's not just here you get 10 parts and build your ship and go. No, it's deeper than that. I was actually on initial impressions I'm pretty impressed with the level for just an initial update. There's quite a bit of stuff to be had here to build your Corvette ship. Like many of the updates that No Man's Sky comes with, there's usually 1 or 2 of those updates that come with graphical enhancements. They talk a lot about that in the patch notes as well. A lot of glass refraction and bending of overlapping translucent surfaces like glass. That's little subtle improvements for this update. If you're one of those folks that spent hundreds or even thousands of dollars on a graphics card, DLSS 4 is now capable. So apparently a great technology. I have a DLSS 4 card now, so I look forward to trying this out. I have a 3070 in my gaming laptop, and it runs No Man's Sky fantastically without really a deep use of DLSS. I still use performance mode because I do like those high frame rates. So I'm looking forward to really playing around with DLSS 4 on this one to see how much more power I can get out of that with my 5060 Ti. Of course, one of the most fun but unused update pieces for me that the game got a long time ago is cooking in the game. Of course, you can add kind of a kitchen to your Corvette starship. They are adding a multi-crew mission radar, and I think this is super key because you can assemble that crew of your friends, go out on your Corvette, board your Corvette together, and sweep for local opportunities from the mission radar, and then fly and drop to a planet. Literally skydiving. They added skydiving to No Man's Sky. I think that is just hilarious. I just want to picture the conversation happening in the office as they're constructing this update, and one person just speaks up and says, why don't we just add skydiving? Like a battle royale. We are at least 1% closer to a No Man's Sky battle royale. I'm just saying it. Don't hate me in the comments, friends. But these missions can get you to be able to harvest, fight, gather treasure. I do suspect that it is still a lot of the more mundane aspects of No Man's Sky that we're already doing. But family, listen, there's an opportunity here that, of course, I'm not going to dog No Man's Sky and Hello Games out for not adding it to this update. I appreciate the foundational piece, but I sincerely hope, and in this video, Sean Murray talks about kind of how this is a foundation that they plan to take very good advantage of from the co-op aspect of this. He mentioned Light No Fire as being the inspiration for why, so I'm just saying, I can't wait to see what that looks like, because this foundational aspect right here for multi-crew mission radars and multi-crew missions in general, there is so much opportunity here. I hope they really, really take advantage of that, because the multiplayer aspect as it is for No Man's Sky right now, it's there, but it's just not there. It's not there, right? A new exosuit that's a little more NASA related, and if anything, if they have stolen almost directly from Starfield, this new ship, it gives those vibes for sure. A new companion is part of this update. Enhanced lighting to things like your player, your ships. They called it hero lighting in the patch notes. I've never heard that term before, but they put quotes around it because apparently that's literally an industry term. They talk about stat maximization for building your Corvette starship. They talk about growing things in your Corvette starship. Now, upon my initial impressions, this is not something that I actually saw originally, and I was wondering, how does one get a hold of modules for building these starships? And they answered that in the patch notes by saying that you can salvage for them. So if you excavate Corvette modules from salvage containers that are buried on the planets across the galaxies, then you can hunt for the perfect set of modules. Of course, I was playing in sort of a creative mode to have access to all these things to capture footage. But if you're playing a permadeath or just a regular save that is not based on or just customized to death where you can just have everything, then that is how you capture them. If you're a PlayStation player and you're playing on PSVR 2, that takes advantage of the spectral super resolution now to enhance the resolution for you VR players, the 3 of you that are out there that are left. Not only can you build that Corvette starship, but you can also trade modules to get more advanced modules too. So that is also part of the workshop. If you're a Twitch viewer, I suspect that this is one of the ways that Hello Games likes to get the game back out there again once a new update drops. But Twitch drops are coming. Those are going to start actually tomorrow. If you're watching this on Wednesday the 27th, those will start from what looks like Thursday the 28th. So your regular Twitch viewers and your regular Twitch streamers that you watch that play No Man's Sky updates, go to those folks to get your Twitch drops. Now, autopilot is a new thing, and I think this is really interesting. The idea of the Corvette ship, and of course being able to just get up and wander around your ship now I know it's a simple thing, but it feels really good. But that's really the key aspects of this Voyagers update. I do want to call it out in the text at the very bottom. It just kind of re-highlights everything. I'm gonna recall this out. I'm gonna be annoying here. Corvette Expedition is coming, but it says Corvette multiplayer missions. It says added a Corvette-based mission board, allowing players on board the Corvette to register as mission crew to cooperatively complete objectives in the local systems. Sean Murray and fam, I need you to hear this. I love this as a concept, and I hope you build on top of that. Please build on top of that. You can do some fantastic things. Also, I don't remember if I said this in the original part of the video, because I'm just going off at this point. The idea that the 2 of the 3 things that I called out from the steal this from Starfield video was they haven't added planetary dungeons yet. I'm just saying, if we're combining stuff with Corvette multiplayer missions, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, it's already in the game, kinda. The derelict freighters that were added like 5 years ago just proves that. I really think and hope they could take advantage of that. My fellow travelers, I hope you stuck around to the end to listen to my rants about this new fantastic update. If you found this informational, please pop a like, help me out. Subscribe if you want to stay around for more. And remember, just love yourself today, okay? And I'll see you in the next video.